Yeah, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Like, we'll be quick, so we all want to watch this gold medal game.
Yeah.
Just going back to last weekend, specifically that Union game. Was there someone on staff, somebody scoreboard watching of what was going on with St. Lawrence? Like, are you up to date of what's going on while you're in the game?
I mean, typically not, right? Like we've talked a ton about just controlling our part of things, and we certainly didn't do that Friday, so we were really focused on a bounce back and a response on Saturday, and really loved the way we played on Saturday. But there, really the only scenario was, if St. Lawrence took a point and we wanted to pull our goalie in regulation to try to get 3 points, and that would have only happened if they went to overtime. So we were kind of like, if there's a delay in our game for some reason, then Matt was on the bench with the earpiece in and had updates. But we really didn't, end up getting to the point where we needed it, with all of us playing at the same time. So there was sort of a strategy in case we needed it, but when it came down to it, it was really about us, controlling what we could, and I thought we did a really good job of that.
Well, home ice for the first time since 2022 for the program. Going into this season, did you set like tangible goals like Beanpot success, Bellpot success, want to have home ice, or was it really just kind of process driven and see where that takes you?
A little bit of both. I mean, it always comes back to the process, right? Because I think it's you set goals in terms of saying, okay, let's start where we wish to finish, but then it's the work is always going to be the same. It's always going to be about the process and how you get there. So I would say honestly, the first semester was about shifting our mentality. So what we talked about from day one was we go into every game expecting to win the game and expecting to play to win and working to win and just starting to have a mentality that we can win every game that we're in. And so really the first semester was about that. And then the second semester, I do think there's an element of speaking things into existence and putting goals out there before we think we're capable of them, before they're really even on our minds, that sort of thing. So I do think it's something, again, it'll always come back to the process, but we can't be afraid to put out there what we want to do. So for us, it was win the friendship series, win the bean pot, and then host and win as many playoff rounds as we can. So we're 2 for 3, and obviously put ourselves in a position to win the bell pot or the friendship series. So just a really good semester for us. So many huge wins, a lot of ranked wins. It just felt like this semester we've really taken huge steps forward and hopefully kind of carry that momentum into the playoffs.
You mentioned some of those huge wins. This last 5 game stretch to wrap up the year, 3-1-1. That stretch of win against Cornell, tie Quinnipiac, beat Princeton. Does it feel like where this team is right now, they're trending in the right direction at the right time?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there was a stretch there where we honestly weren't loving the way we were playing, and I'm sure some of that had to do with how many games we played in January, but that can never be an excuse. And, we're fortunate to play as many games as we do. So it did feel like that caught up with us a little bit. We weren't loving our play for a little bit of a little while there. We were still finding ways to win, which is also huge. But really like the way we've played the last, 3 weeks or so. And even last weekend, like Friday for us was not a great performance, but the key after that RPI game, and they played great that Friday night against us. But the key was really like not making it to, responding and coming right back. And obviously that's the mentality you have to have this time of year. So I just thought that was great for us too. We've just, I think really had a lot of successes, and then where we've had, failures or whatever you want to call them, that's really just been spaces where we've learned. And I think that's been really helpful for us too.
You just look at your team, so structurally sound defensively, hard to break down. You've played in a lot of close games, and all that kind of just makes you think playoff hockey, close games and physical games. Do you feel like this team is primed for playoff hockey?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I think it's really true. Like, just the way we play in our end, tough physical layers, really hard to get to the slot. I think, our experience with so many close games has been great for us. And, it kind of started in Belfast was obviously the Duluth win was huge for us, but that game too, where we got an opportunity to play for a championship and it's only January 3rd or whatever it was, it's just like, wow, this is awesome for us to be in a championship environment right now. And then obviously the Bean Pot, same thing. So I think we're really primed for playoff hockey and the mentality that it takes, and which is, doing it together and doing whatever it takes to get it done, and just expect it to be close. Expect things to not go your way all the time. Expect bounces here and there. Like, we're gonna play through whatever comes our way, and have had a ton of success this semester coming out on top in those situations. So I think that's going to be huge for us.
Couple of games against St. Lawrence, they've been low scoring, grinded out type games. What are some areas you're highlighting going into this game Saturday?
Yeah, really. I mean, 1-0 game and a 1-1 game. What a playoff matchup. I always love playing St. Lawrence. I mean, Walsey's going to have those guys ready to go, and they just play high energy. They skate well. I think they're pretty young too, and so we've both been just kind of learning a lot this year. And I think for us, we want to get after them on the forecheck. I thought we did a great job of that when we were here last time against St. Lawrence. So that's where our offense can come from if we can get after them and come up with pucks. And we've really worked on also, if we don't have to give up the puck and go get it back, then let's attack on entry as much as we can, and try to possess off that. So the offensive side of the game, I think, has really been a big focus for us in the second half. Had a lot of learning to do on the D side in the first half of the year, but I feel like we've really been able to focus on the offensive side of things here, and that's going to be important to obviously try to put more than one goal away against them.
And just last one for me before I'll toss it over to Mike. Morgan's been on a great stretch to wrap up this season, 4 points in the last three. Are there any other players that maybe not jump out on the stat sheet right now that you feel like are trending in the right direction?
I mean, we got a lot of players playing well. Yeah, like, that top line of first years, they've been together since the Cornell game. Thought they had a lot of jump that game and have really been creating a ton since. Ella Lucia has played awesome. I mean, she just has so much power through the middle of the ice. It's almost like when the puck's on her stick, she becomes faster. It's like one of those video games where you go over the chevron, and they get more energy. Crash Bandicoot, or if maybe I'm aging myself, but that's what, Sonic, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of what she reminds me of. And I just loved how Annie Dingus's line played last Saturday. Emily Hammond, Annie Dingus, and Zoe Busamra, like, they're just energy. I mean, they're all over the place. Hammy had a great tip in front of the net. We actually lost the face off, and they just supported the puck, got it back, and went low to high and went to the net, and they've been playing awesome. So, we're just getting contributions from all over the place. I thought our D were much better Saturday than Friday, and they knew they wanted to be, they needed to be, and jumping up into plays, helping us offensively. So, just really our whole lineup, our like our PK too. Like, we have players who don't play as much 5-on-5 who are going out and killing penalties for us. So I just think, we have so much depth, and we use it, and that's a strength of our team heading into the playoffs. Nice.
Uh, but just real quick for me, a couple. Annie Sun was a player who obviously scored her first goal this year, first points this year. And obviously that's all seen on paper, but like behind the scenes and the work ethic from her, what have you seen for this big jump this year?
I mean, she's everything you could ask for in a player in terms of her work ethic. Every day are so steady, so consistent, so reliable. I think her teammates would say all those things about her too. So she just works and works and then works some more, and she's always ready. For us, I think so reliable in the first half when we only had 5D. That group was really good. She was a big part of it. And then now, same thing, 5-on-5, but penalty kill too. She's one of the first ones over the boards typically, or, certainly getting minutes for us on the kill. And you just know she's always going to be where she's supposed to be, and plays our structure really well. And as a result, is really trusted out there to do the right thing at the right time. So she's awesome. Just a great kid, great player, and huge part of our team.
Awesome. And two tight games against St. Lawrence during the regular season. What are some keys for you guys? What are some things that you think, hey, if we do this, we can have success against a team we play tight?
Yeah, really focused on, the offensive side of the puck. Obviously, we're always going to want to defend hard and protect our slot and block shots, play tough, physical, layered defense. And our goaltending has certainly been a huge part of our defensive success. But I think, really just this week trying to feel good on the offensive side of the puck. Have a plan on how we're going to attack. Want to be multi-threat really. So when we come over the blue line, if we have numbers, let's attack on entry. If we don't, how do we cut our loss and go right to ozone possession? That might mean giving up the puck and then go getting it back. So get on the forecheck and drive our feet. And when our forwards are driving their feet, I think we're a really good team. So that's just been our focus really on the offensive side this week, and want to create. When I look at our last game against St. Lawrence, we certainly created opportunities, and then it's just a matter of finishing on them. So ton of focus on the net front this week, and this game could very well be won or lost at the net front, either side. I think just with how tight our games have been up there, we win 1-0. Our goal was at the net front. Here we tie 1-1. Our goal was at the net front. So, I expect that to be an area that's pretty important this weekend.
Thanks, Coach. Short and sweet from me. Let's go USA. I'll pass it to Craig.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, puck still hasn't dropped yet. Coach, thank you as always for the time here. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do for my hits in the middle of the periods here. I want to keep it team centric for the playoffs. Close games might be something, and I got a quote from you there. Maybe what's your perspective of the season sort of as a whole, and whether it's already considered a success given, that you've converted on a couple of the explicit goals that you've talked about, the Beanpot win and home ice here for the playoffs?
I mean, just such a huge step forward for us and inflection point maybe in our rebuild. And whether that's from a mentality perspective, I think our mentality has shifted. We can play with anyone, we can beat anyone. We're starting to have the mindset that we will beat anyone. And it's one thing to go from being the underdog to the favorite too. So we've gotten more comfortable with that as we've had those opportunities. And ultimately, it's all noise. Like you have to be able to ignore it and stay on the process and our identity and how we want to play. And I think we've just done a really good job of that this semester. So I really love this team. I this semester has been one of my favorite in coaching, and it's been really special, and we want it to last as long as it possibly can. So we want to keep playing, keep winning games, keep playing hockey. But yeah, it's been huge. I mean, I think it's the biggest turnaround in the NCAA. It's if not the biggest turnaround in program history. It's close. So and by turnaround, I just mean, wins last year to wins this year. And that's a very result focused, but it does obviously tell a story. So I'm very proud of our team getting those results, and maybe more so just how we've done it together, how we play. I think we've been just such a strong opponent. Anyone who comes to play us, we've been ready to go. And just like I said, want to make this last as long as it can.
Yeah, well said. You just parrot that back for my head. So thank you. That was good stuff. And then one more maybe. It just so happens that you and St. Lawrence are 1-2 in scoring. Thank you, Phil, for this. Percentage by underclass players. And I wouldn't ask you to comment on them and your outlook on what's going on with them for the future. But for you and your team, what does that say about going forward here? And obviously, you're focused on the playoffs here right now and want to win and go as far as you can. But going forward, what does the outlook look like given that?
Yeah, I think that's huge. Anytime, I mean, really, it's our job to attract and grow talent. So attracting talent and of course that also requires that it fits into what we're looking for from a character standpoint and coming into our locker room and being part of a team. But I think for us, attracting talent is the recruiting side of it. It's our job to bring in high level players, and then it's also our job to develop that group. And I think you really see both throughout our team, which is exactly what we want. And yeah, when you can bring in first year players who push, make your team better, and not only come in and produce themselves, but also help others elevate. Like, I think that's what you want to do every year. So we've certainly seen that this year, and that's our goal going forward. If we're doing that every year, then your team's consistently getting better, pushing the envelope. And that's what we're looking to do. So I think that's certainly what we expected out of this group, and it's helped us for sure take steps forward.